Hello subscribers and guests of the Knitting Lessons channel. Today we'll knit such a headband. For the volume of the head 54-55 centimeters. You can knit it any size you need. Also we'll knit one skein. We have 50 grams in 175 meters. We'll knit with 2 threads. Also we'll knit circular needles number 3. We'll knit around 20 centimeters to that braid. Next, we split stitches to 3 parts and knit each part separately. And again, after knitting a braid, we also knit 20 centimeters. You can knit for any head girth by knitting more or less centimeters to the braid. So, let's start knitting. I cast 21 stitches on the needles for the headband. I have a separate video on how to cast on stitches. Next, we'll knit a pattern called rice or tapestry. So we knit one row a knit and a purl, next row vice versa, a purl and a knit. Knit the same lengths. I repeat, knit the same lengths. The beginning row to the braid, next we knit separately 3 parts, and again the same lengths we knit before the braid. We must knit the same lengths before and after the braid, as you understood. So first stitch we remove, next knit, a stitch, a knit, a stitch, a knit, a stitch, like that till the end of the row. Alternate a knit, a purl. Knit till the end of the row. Knit last stitch as a purl. We have knitted the first row, turn it, and knit the second row. Remove every first stitch, every last stitch we'll knit as a purl. And pay attention, if we had a purl in the previous row, knit it as a knit. If we had a knit in the previous row, knit it as a purl. Knit like that till the end of the row, a knit and a purl. If we had a knit in the previous row, knit now a purl. If we had a purl in the previous row, knit it as a knit. Continue knitting like that till the end of the row. Continue knitting like that. Last stitch we'll knit as a purl. Again turn and continue knitting. Remove first stitch. You see a purl in the previous row, knit it as a knit. You see a knit in the previous row, knit it as a purl. Continue knitting like that till the end of the row. A knit, a purl, a knit, a purl. Knit like that till the end of the row. Knit last stitch as a purl. Turn the knitting. Again continue. Remove first stitch. Next you see a purl in the previous row. Knit it knitwise. You see a knit in the previous row. Knit it as a purl. Continue knitting like that till the end of the row. We have such a pattern. As I told you before, knit the same lengths before and after the braid. I'll knit around 20 centimeters before the braid. Next, split the knit into 3 parts and knit them separately. Next, knit again 20 centimeters after the braid. Okay, now knit rice pattern the lengths you need up to that braid, that crisscross. Continue. So I've knit 20 centimeters in height approximately. Next, split the knit into 3 parts. We'll knit every part separately. As you see here, 20 centimeters before crisscross. Next, split the stitches to 3 parts, knit every part separately. Afterwards, we'll knit the same length after the crisscross. I have before crisscross 20 centimeters, the crisscross is around 10 centimeters, and again 20 centimeters after the crisscross. Divide the stitches to 3 parts, we have 7 stitches in each part, we'll knit 2 more balls. We'll knit every part from another ball. Now, we knit with the main thread, first stitch we remove, knit according to the pattern. If you had a purl in the previous row, knit it as a knit. Second knit, third stitch, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh stitch is chromatic, we'll always knit it as a purl. First stitch we remove, last stitch we knit as a purl, the 5 stitches in the middle we knit according to the pattern. If we had a knit, we knit it as a purl. If we had a purl, we knit it as a knit. Next, knit again 7 stitches, we take the second ball, here it is, connect the thread, and continue knitting with the same needles, or you can knit separately 3 parts. We connect the thread, and that is why we'll knit the first stitch. Next rows we'll remove the first stitch. It's a knit according to the pattern in the previous row. We knit a purl. Next, a knit is a third stitch, sorry. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh stitch we knit as a purl. This is the second part, and we have last 7 stitches. We take again the thread, connect, first stitch we knit, next rows we'll remove it. We knit as a purl, here was a purl, we knit it knitwise, a purl, a knit, a purl, a knit, last stitch we knit as a purl. Next, we turn the knitting, and again knit 3 separate parts. First stitch we remove, next, knit according to the pattern, a knit, a purl, a knit, a purl, a knit, last stitch we knit as a purl. Again knit, but from the second ball. Here is our thread. Knit now from the second ball. Continue knitting from the second ball, first stitch you remove, knit next a purl, a knit, a purl, a knit, a purl, last stitch knit as a purl. All the threads we'll fix afterwards and hide them. Third part is left. Knit from the third ball, also first stitch remove, knit a purl as a knit, a purl, a knit, a purl, a knit, the last stitch as a purl. I'll repeat again. First stitch you remove, last one you knit as a purl, and middle 5 stitches you knit according to the pattern. Again turn the knitting, again knit every part separately. Remove first stitch, knit, a purl, a knit, a purl, a knit, and the last one as a purl. We've knit the first part, knit the second one. Continue. First stitch you remove, a purl, a knit, a purl, a knit, a purl, last stitch as a purl. We've done with the second part. Continue knitting the third part. Remove first stitch, We had a pearl, knitted now as a knit, a pearl, a knit, a pearl, a knit, a pearl. Knit each part separately, knit around 35-60 rows. I'll tell you approximately what height I've knit. Knit each part separately. I remind you, first stitch you remove, last stitch you knit as a pearl, 5 stitches in the middle you knit according to the pattern. Knit 3 parts separately, the height you need. See you soon! We've knit separately 3 parts. We have around 14 centimeters in height. Next, we'll do such a braid. I cut off the thread from those 2 parts. As you see, the thread must be in the beginning of the row. Here is the first and the second thread. Third thread is the main, with the help of which we knit a headband. Next, we do such a braid. Put the parts like this, and one more time. So we need the main thread to be in the beginning of the row. Like that, you did such a braid. Next, look, if we start knitting, we'll have a chromatic stitch. Next, it was a pearl, we'll knit as a knit, a pearl, a knit, a pearl, a knit, a pearl, a knit. Here will be a pearl again. Make a crisscross here. One more time. And we check the order of stitches once again, so that we have our pattern, rice pattern. Here is a pearl, a knit, a pearl, a knit. Put on knitting needles on the stitches. I've already hidden the threads we connected here. And put on the last part on the needle. And continue knitting with turning rows. Here you are. We've done it. That is our main thread. There are remaining threads, first one and second one. You'll hide them individually. Now, flatten the braid like that and start knitting. First chromatic stitch we remove. Next we knit according to the pattern. If it was a pearl, we knitted knitwise, a pearl, a knit, a pearl, so we alternate. Here is our chromatic stitch. According to the pattern, there was a knit. Now it will be a pearl. Where is chromatic stitch? Next chromatic stitch we need knitwise. One moment. I lost the stitch a little. So knit knitwise, next chromatic stitch. Next, it was a knit. We knit as a pearl. And continue knitting. A knit, a pearl, a knit, a pearl. A knit is chromatic and again a pearl. A knit, a pearl, a knit, a pearl, a knit, and the last one is chromatic, it will be a pearl. So we continue knitting the pattern again, remove chromatic stitch and knit last one as a purl. Next, if you see a purl, knit it knitwise. If you see a knit it as a purl. Continue knitting the length you knit before the braid, 20 centimeters, and here 20 centimeters more. Where we had a knit, we knit as a purl, and vice versa. We knit the pattern we knit here. A knit, we knit a purl. We see a purl, we knit now a knit. I'll hide the thread individually here. Continue knitting like that. Knit a chromatic stitch as a purl. We've knit one more row. Continue knitting. Again, remove chromatic stitch, knit a purl knitwise, and vice versa. Every next row, knit vice versa. Continue knitting till the end of the row, according to the pattern. Chromatic stitch, knit as a purl, again turn the knitting, again remove chromatic stitch, again alternate a stitch and the purl. If you see a purl, knit it knitwise, and vice versa. Continue knitting like that. Every row alternate a knit and the stitch, only change the places with the previous row. So, continue knitting 20 centimeters, the same length we knit before the braid. Continue knitting the length you need. I've also knit 20 centimeters after the braid, and now we need to close the stitches. We'll use ordinary method. We knit 2 stitches together, then return the stitch to the left needle and do this till the end of the row. 2 stitches together, a knitted stitch will return to the left needle, again 2 together, and return the stitch to the left needle. Close the stitches till the end of the row. When you finish closing, you need to leave the thread to connect the headband in a circle. Knit 2 stitches together, return the knitted stitch to the left needle, and again repeat 2 together and return. Close like that till the end of the row. Continue the same way. Close the rest stitches individually till the end of the row. I closed the stitches and left a little thread from the ball. Next we'll knit a needle, we'll sew the headband. How to do this? I enter the stitch from one side of the headband and next do the same under the other stitch from the other side. Continue till the end. Again under the stitch. under the stitch from one side and enter the thread with the needle the same way from the other side. Continue till the end of the row. Again, enter the thread with the needle under the stitch from one side and under the stitch from the other side, like this. I finished knitting the headband. Here is the result. Such a headband. Thank you all for watching. See you. Bye bye.